You can play music if you'd like, do all the things that make you feel good. If you play music, just make sure that you can hear me because I'm going to give some juicy stuff out. All right, guys, today is number 3 of 8. Real quick, whatever we don't get through today, we're going to get through on the next workout this week. The second week, we're learning about the planes of motion. You move in 3 different planes of motion, so you do get a little education. This will be our first circuit, second circuit, third, and then we'll build off that fourth one depending on what we get done. But we'll talk about the frontal, sagittal, and transverse. We're going to do all of those today, and you do those in life. You do those in life anyway. All right, folks, let's move. Let's get started. I don't need my glasses. I just need, as long as you guys can see me, we good money. All right, let's get a quick warm up here. Remember, you do need dumbbells. You do need a kettlebell, dumbbell, something that is heavy, something that is going to challenge you. All right, let's roll those shoulders up, back and down a little bit. Roll through the neck. Now, I did upload a full warm up. So if you need something a little bit more juicy, especially if you are watching this later, go ahead and pause right now, run through that like warm up, and then come back to this full workout. All right, let's roll it up vertebrae by vertebrae. It is somewhat important, especially if you're new to me, it is somewhat important to follow the order 1, 2, 3, because we build, right? We're building, especially folks that are in the foundational stage. You're building on all these exercises. Let's get some good mornings going, standing up nice and tall. Let's push the booty back, zip those hips forward, push the butt back, stand up nice and tall. Start to warm up. Maybe you might feel a stretch through the back side of the legs. Maybe you start to feel your booty warm up, core, you got options. Alrighty, we're gonna shift this to a squat in 3, 2, 1, drop the booty, press the hips forward, drop the butt. Let's press the hips forward. All right, guys, it does not run like a class. It's a little different. We are running through circuits, a lot more strength focus, a lot more form focus. So keep that in mind. I'm looking for good form. I'm looking for all the technique that you've learned, put it into play. Let's walk it out to the top in 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and step one foot up towards the hand. Let's reach that arm up. Whew. Take this wherever you need to, my friends. You can start to take some of those hip openers. All right, we'll build. Oh, baby. All right, so again, we're working through 3 different planes of motion. That is really how we get through life. All right, folks, you can meet me down here, take a little cat-cow, push and pull through the palms. And it's really simple. I'm going to show you in this next exercise that you can see. It's really quite simple. So the sagittal plane is like basically when you kick your leg up and down, okay? So these guys here, this is the sagittal plane. Think of a bicep curl. One direction, front and back, up and down, all right? Now, then you have your frontal plane. Let's take this knee out towards the side, like a lateral lunge, okay? Or a lateral raise. You see how my knee is heading out towards the side now. If I were to move like a crab, that would be the sagittal plane, or sorry, frontal plane. Now, when you make this big hip circle, it breaks those 2 planes, and that's your transverse plane, okay? So all 3 planes of motion you use in life. Let's switch directions on that hip circle. I used a very simple exercise to tell you which one's which. Let's switch it up. Let's kick that heel up nice and high, opposite side. Opening up the hip, feeling that booty. Let's take it out towards the side. And then let's make a nice big hip circle. Big hip circle, switch directions on that circle. Alrighty, folks, the workouts are typically 45 minutes. If you're doing it on your own and you want to stop and go on your pace, you absolutely can. When you're ready, my friends, you're going to take it down to the side. We've got a series of the side booty today. So we're going to take our clamshells. When you're ready, I want both hips nice and square. It's a quick warm up. We're getting right through it. You have 10 normal clamshells where the heels are clicked together. Okay. Yep, I already did my booty workout, so this is already killing me in a good way. Now, once you get through 10, relax the bottom leg. You're going to take 10 with the leg lift. Lift and lower here. Nice deep exhale, lift. Deep exhale. Yep, once you get through 10, we've got a little extra at the end. And 10. Now from here, place the elbow directly underneath you. You're going to take a side plank hip thrust. I thrust the hips forward. The top leg completely separates from the bottom. You have 10. Hold here and then push the butt back. Press the hip forward, push the butt back. You should feel your top butt, but you'll also feel the bottom butt. All right, both booties are working at the same time. Good. If you're moving with me, this is number 7. Last 2 here. Deep exhale. Squeeze your bottom butt just as much as the top. Beautiful. Let's swing things around, switch it up. We got a lot to get through today and a lot that has a lot to think about, right? So we're breaking things down. Always feel free, folks. If you need to, you can always take it off of mute and ask a question, drop it in the chat, say what up to a friend. For folks that are doing this on the recording, remember that you can absolutely send over some form, feedback, or if you want form feedback. Alrighty, top leg separates from the bottom. Ooh, my booty is feeling it already. Right, I know that these little exercises, everyone's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But these little exercises make the big exercises that much more efficient, right? It's not that you need them, they just make it more efficient. Alrighty. And in a world where we live with a lot of other crap that we have to deal with, I'd take some body form efficiency. All right, top leg separates completely. Push the butt back. Exhale, press those hips forward. Push the butt back. Nice deep exhale. Good, good. Yep. All right, you do have some side planks today. You have a lot of rotational things because rotation is going to be in that transverse plane of motion, right? So a lot of rotational pieces today. You'll learn how to really move from the rib cage as opposed to moving from your lower back, which is a stable area. It's not a mobile area. Good. And then from there, folks, take this however you'd like. Take a little stretch, a down dog, whatever you need. You're going to walk your feet and hands up towards one another. Slowly roll it up. You're going to take a squat and the reverse lunges. Okay. So when you're ready, you're going to come on up. You have a squat. You'll step one leg back. You have a squat. And then you'll step the opposite leg back. All right. We're working on the reverse lunges. We worked on those week 1 in some of our fundamental movements. They back. You're not going to see them too much, but they're around. Good, good, good. So one squat, one big reverse lunge. Then we're going to get into our first circuit today. One squat, one big reverse lunge. All right, guys. So last week we did the fundamentals, the foundation of everything. This week you're working on planes of motion. Next week, we're doing a lot of combo and compound movements. The final week is going to be a mix of putting all of the things that you learn together. Our first exercise today is a transverse squat. All right, so right away, we're starting in the transverse plane, meaning it it breaks everything. So when you're setting up, I'm going to have both of my weights. I'm going to keep my right leg where it is. I'm going to step my left leg out. I'm going to turn the hips. We're going to sit into a very deep sumo squat, and then you're going to push off. Now, if you're using a yoga mat, this is what I typically tell people. I'll sit up at the front of the yoga mat. I'm going to turn my leg, step it out. My hips turn, right? We're going to push the butt back, sit into that deep squat, and then come back to 12 o'clock. Decide what your 12 o'clock is and come back to it. Yes, that's it, Andrea. Good. Yep. Good, Lydia. Yep. Remember that your weight has to be even on both sides. You're taking 6 on each side. All right. This is going to light up those inner thighs. 6 on each side. Sounds like a lot. I know. But if you need to, you can break it down anywhere from 4 to 6. Now, keep in mind, you guys keep working. A few things that I sometimes will notice is 1, we move too much, in which case the knee has to kind of buckle in to do the squat. You see where that knee is? We want to push the knee out. That's one thing that we notice. 2, I'll also notice that people get into a lateral lunge or kind of get caught in this middle. If you're going to be where I turn, I'm in a regular squat. Push those knees out. All right, once you get to 6, right? So now you have 6 on each side. We're going to move through a rotational press, right? So once you get 6 here, all right, and once we lay the foundation of this first round, you can move at your own pace. All right, friends. So let's get the rotational press. You will have one weight at your shoulder. Okay. The other is going to be down. So you just need one weight. We worked on the press last week as one of our fundamental movements. The weight is going to go straight up. My shoulders and my hips, however, are going to turn. Okay. So I'm going to swivel through my right heel, even though the weight is on my left side, swivel through my right heel, throw this weight up, then lock the elbow down, lock the shoulder down. Both shoulders, both hips face one direction. At the top here, this back butt is on, weights directly overhead. Lock the shoulder, lock it here. Okay, this is again transverse. You're going to take anywhere from 6 to 8, depending on your weight. Let's get 6 to 8. Knuckles up. Now, if your weight is too heavy, you can opt to do this with 2 arms. You'll press both and then lock it down. Same format, same go. Alrighty, folks. When you get to that other side, shift your weight and make sure your butt, this is like one of those things you could do, put your back into it. You know what I'm saying? Use that booty. 6 to 8. Go for it when you're ready. Alrighty, friends. Here's what's going to happen. You have 3 rounds of these exercises. We're going to do it. We're going to add a side plank with the rotation. We're going to set time and we're going to move. Okay. 3 rounds. Once you get through those rotational presses, nice, Lydia, good. The next exercise in this circuit of 3 is your side plank. I'm going to give you 2 options here. Option 1 is the full throttle. We're going all the way. So I'm going to take my side plank. You see my belly button. My belly button's pointing a laser forward. It stays pointing that laser as I take the top elbow down and then opens up. You're going to take 8 of these, anywhere from 6 to 8. Now, my friends that you're like, absolutely not, I'm not doing a side plank. Bend this bottom knee. You can opt to keep the top leg down, or if you need an additional challenge, you're going to be right here. Okay. Anywhere from 6 to 8 on these as well, on both sides. Let's do it, crew. So now you know what you got. You have your transverse squats, rotational press, and then this rotation on the side plank. You're doing it 3 rounds. This is your first round. I'm going to move with you, but you can abandon me and move at your own pace. I'm going to give you things to think about in each exercise. And feel free, if you're here live, to unmute and ask any questions. Alrighty, folks, go for it when you're ready. I just want to pin myself so we see me. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys, when you're ready, go for it. You have the transverse squat anywhere from 6 to 8. You have the rotational press and then the side plank. All right? I'm going to move with you, but again, you can move faster or slower than me. We don't always have to move on the same pace. All right, that transverse squat, make sure you have one stationary leg. Turn the hips, push the knees out, and then come back. Be mindful, your actual body weight should still be in between both of those knees, or excuse me, both of those feet. Okay, I'm going to do it so that way you guys are my turned around position. Turn, opening up the hips. All right, rotating. Now, this is an excellent exercise for the inner thighs. Ooh, my knee just wanted to come in a little bit. You probably feel the inner thighs a little bit more on that deep squat. All right, so anywhere from 4 to 6 on each side. We're going to move through the press. That rotational press, I'm going to show you. Really use this back body. Core tight, lock it down. Exhale, lock it down. Shoulders, hips, everything pointing that direction. Lock it down. Good, good, good. Anywhere, again, from 4 to 6. Now, be mindful. We're not like revving up. Ooh, you saw how I just lost my side? No, you're using that booty. It's a rotation. You're going to see some chops later today. All right, and then lock it down. When you're ready, you switch sides. Doesn't matter if you have a stronger side. Always. And I mean always. If you did 8 on one side, it's 8 on the other. If you did 4 on one side, it's 4 on the other. Okay. I love the rotational press. It is very much applicable to life. I always joke, this one is like when you're like at the airport and you're trying to get your luggage. You're in that weird ass position. And then you look at some guy that's like, oh, you like mimicking to help you. And you're like, I don't need your help. I freaking lift, bro. I don't know. That's what happens in my head. But what actually really happens is I smile at the person. I go, oh my God, thanks. And then I like push it up, no problem. All righty, friends, let's take it down to the side plank. Again, the side plank has anywhere from 6 to 8 of those rotations. I suggest going with the side that you need a little bit more love first. That's when your like focus is at 100, right? So I'm gonna place my elbow down. Again, you have so many options to make this yours, but you have to think about locking that shoulder down, hips nice and square, rotate. I like to use the exhale. Come on forward. Keep those hips up nice and high. And keep both hips, especially that bottom hip. Keep that hip pointing forward. Now, if anyone is doing any like recreational sports like tennis, golf, swimming, even those types of recreational sports ask for a lot of rotation in your body. And the rotation should be coming from all 12 of your rib cages. So think of the base of your rib cage and then go up that way. That's where the rotation should be coming from. All right. A lot of us will rotate from the lower back. No, no, no. And then we wonder why our back hurts. All right. And really just look at the anatomy of a skeleton, right? That lower back, the lumbar, those are big, bulky, bone, big, huge bones there, right? You would think, those are nice and stable. Those are definitely not to be moved too much. And then you get up to the rib cage, and the rib cage, the vertebrae is a lot smaller. It's stacked over. It's got more mobility. And you're like, that's probably where we should move from. All right, friends, we got one more round on this. If you're moving with me, it's one more round. If you want to move faster, by all means, go for it. Take your time. If you're watching this on the recording, you can pause here, do whatever you need to do. Now, if you're going to send over form feedback, one of the exercises that I would probably put on that would be this transverse squat. All right, this one gets people tripped up. Yes, Andrea, exactly. You can absolutely open up the knee, see what you get, and then push the butt back. All right, that's what makes it that transverse. It's like swinging open the knee, boom, drop that booty. All right, and be mindful not to move your stationary knee, stationary leg. I love these personally. I'll sometimes even do these as a step up. Woohoo! Yeah, it's fun. All right, so again, if you're doing 4, do 4 on the other side. If you're doing 5, do 5 on the other side, yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. Nice big deep breaths. Deep exhale, folks. I'm gonna add a core workout on there as well. So you'll have that on the private YouTube channel, so you can add that. And when I say core, I mean 360 core, not just like quote unquote abs. All righty. Okay, so now we'll take that rotational press. Again, I want you to think, if you were to slow down, yes, good, Lydia. If you were to slow down my screen, it's booty first, rib cage, then the arm presses. If it was in slow-mo, lock it down. Good. Weight goes straight up. Good, Andrea, good. Weight goes straight up. Booty, shoulders are the ones that turn. Lock it down. All right, oftentimes people want to do like crunches and core work to get like the cuts. Things like this, single-sided strength training is going to be one of the most efficient and one of the most, like, I don't even know another word, but the most efficient way to work your core. It's literally asking your core to do more of what it's made to do, right? Which is stabilize your spine. I go on a whole rant on TikTok about the waist trainer, AKA the faja. The faja has the waist trainer has a chokehold on people. It does not train your waist. I'll post it on Instagram. You guys let me know what you think. All righty, my friends, if you got 6 to 8 on both sides, let's take it down to that nice side plank, okay? The side plank, once again, excellent exercise. Everyone has a love-hate with the side plank, mostly hate, but you better show some love to that side plank. Alrighty, again, and opt. I personally, when I do this exercise, I will purposely bend the knee to focus on my rotation. I do like doing the full one as well, but I'll purposely do it if I know I'm focusing on those rotational muscles. I like that exhale to rotate. As I pull the belly button in, it helps me stabilize the pelvis, squeeze my butt, stabilizing everything. And then I'm able to move freely through the upper part of my back. Whew, this feels nice today. Does it for you guys? Nice deep exhale. And again, with this program, you can take so many different approaches to it, right? You can say, okay, great, I'm gonna do 8 reps of everything. I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes, and I'm gonna see how many times I can get these 3 exercises, right? If you wanted to go more of like a HIIT style. You can have a lot of fun. You have a lot of liberty to make these programs your own. I'm giving you some guidance. The goal is that you feel like you have a little bit more knowledge when you are doing these exercises. You're executing them as efficiently as possible for your body. Which brings us to circuit number 2. Let's get right into it. Our curtsy. I'm going to coach you through the curtsy first. Many of you have been with me. The curtsy is great, but there's a lot of room for error. Let's not say but, and there's a lot of room for error. I'm going to set myself up. My left heel is now going to be my stationary side. It is my right leg that's not only going to go back, it is now purposely going to cross that back leg. You see where my hips are? I want to try and keep my hips nice and square as I melt that back knee down and then push off. Now, 2 things I often see is that people take a massive step back and I'm like, are you going to land in a split? And then second thing I will see is that we lose the hips. You see how my one hip really significantly dropped? So that's why I want you to take your time. Slide it back, kind of like whatever line that's on there, slide it over, melt the hips, but keep those hips nice and square, and then power up, okay? So work through how that feels on your body, right? I'm taking it here, melting the back knee. You see the back knee is right under my butt, and then I'm gonna stand up nice and tall, right? Work how that feels. Sometimes we just do them in class and we're just like, go, 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 go. We don't actually take time to like see how it feels, right? I'm here, shoulders square. Again, another thing that happens is we open up the hip. Let's try and square up the shoulders, square up the hips, push off that front leg, okay? With that said, you're gonna grab either 1 or 2 weights. If you decide to do 1 weight, you have the option of taking it on the leg that's gonna step back, which will create a lot of core instability, or you can keep it up here. All right, if you have 2 weights, you can bring them both down to the side or both up here, up to you. I'm gonna coach it today with the arm down here. Let me know how we feel. All right, let's take a nice deep exhale. And then come on in. All right, you guys have 6 to 8. Let's see how it feels. Nice big step back, dig through that front heel. Good, 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 good. If you're using your yoga mat, which is actually a great, yoga mat is fantastic. If you're using your yoga mat, you can step 1 foot on the mat. Make sure that the opposite leg when you step is off the mat. Years down the line, I'm gonna make like little numbers and little circles and little images so that way I'll be like, step your foot there, step your foot there. All right, now be mindful, you don't want too much of a hinge forward. Like some folks will take it too far down. You can keep that chest up. The booty does have to go back. It does fold at the hips, but we're not going to take too much of a hinge where you're in like a deadlift position, right? We will be working on something like that in your last week, which is your combo week. Press it forward. Yep. Now, the other thing I see in the curtsy, which is cute, but ain't going to cut it. We get to here, and then we think that's the end. Shoulders over hips is the end. Full extension. Really press those hips, not too far forward, but stand up nice and tall. All righty. The next exercise is one of my favorites. One of my favorites, it's a chop. We're going down on one side, up on the other, okay? So you're gonna recruit a lot of movement. This whole thing is in your transverse plane, okay? Now, go light if you want to. I'm gonna show you the exercise first, and then you can go for it, okay? The chop today, I have 1 dumbbell, I'm showing light, and then I'm gonna show heavy. I'm gonna keep, you see, I turn my hips, turn my shoulders. I have one side that's down, long spine here, arms long, one side that's up. Yep, one side that's down. Now, keep in mind, just because I'm down doesn't mean I'm rolling through the shoulders, because then I can't really recruit my butt. I'm here, I want you, slow-mo, I want you to throw this back ass. That's what's gonna get that weight up, okay? So, it actually will work better with a little bit of a heavy to moderate, like a little bit of a moderate weight. And I say that because then you're gonna have to actually try and throw that weight. That's what I like to do with my 17.5 as opposed to the 5. Again, this one, you can do anywhere from 4 to 8 on each side, depending on the weight that you have, all right? So let's go for it. Good, Lydia, bend that back knee. Bend the back knee a little bit, give me a little bit of a seat, and then oof. Good, Andrea, yes, woof, big push. Exhale. You should really feel your core. And I want you to feel that back butt. Shift your weight. Now, don't fight the dumbbell. You and the dumbbell are in a dance. It's a dance of love. Don't fight the dumbbell. Ride the dumbbell and then turn the dumbbell's like trajectory way up with that booty. All right, keep it closer to you than you think. All right, let's do it. 6 to 8 or 4 to 8. Throw that weight. Core tight. You are in control. Good. Once you get through 6, beautiful. You can rest. Now, this next one, you're going to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes in a plank position. Okay. Oh, yes. We're back to more of our like sagittal plane. So in this, you're really going to have shoulders, knees, and toes. So shoulders, knees, toes, hips come back down, toes, hips come back down. You're going to do 5 sets of that. If you're feeling cray, if you're feeling like you want a little extra spice, give me a push-up before each of those, like 1 push-up. So it'll be 5 push-ups, right? I'll do it with you with the push-up, and then I'll do it without, all right? So I would start with my push-up. Then I would go shoulder, knee, toe, then toe. Then I would do my second push-up, right? Now, if you need help on your push-ups, remember we went over them in our first workout. Let's melt the hips down nice and low. If I had no push-up, I would just go back to the shoulders, back to the knees, back to the toes. All right, 5 sets of this. Once you get through 5 sets of this, my friends, we're up and out. We're back to the curtsies. All right, that means we will have time for 1 more circuit. Very excited. And then we will, whatever we don't finish today, we'll add on to your second workout of this week, which will be up no later than Thursday, 6:30 p.m. At this point, folks, you have full access to the secret private YouTube channel. There is where I will post everything. You will see it. If you subscribe, I believe you get a notification. But if you're not about the subscribe life, no biggie. Don't worry. Do whatever makes you feel good. All right, this one's a nice little fun way, fun, to move through the plank position. You can get a little like, challenging with that. You could add the push-up. You could add a tricep push-up if you wanted. Once you get through 5 of those, shake it off, let it go, tighten up your ponytail, fix whatever you got to fix because we're back to our curtsies. All righty, friends. It's anywhere from 6 to 8 curtsies on this. When you're ready, we go. I'm going to go a little heavier so you can see I'm still challenging my core when I have my weight on one side, right? I'm digging my left heel down. Be mindful. Dig that heel down, all right? You're not going to be at all balanced or stable if the heel is lifted, right? And I see that often. Keep most of your weight onto your stationary leg. Good, crew. Take your time on that back step, right? You take it to the reverse lunge, you cross the midline, you melt the back knee down, and then power off that front leg. Right? Some trainers, some folks don't like the curtsy, and I understand why. It's mostly because you kind of break the alignment of your hip, shoulder, knee, ankle. However, it is a very functional move. You do often see it in classes as well. So I'd rather you guys do it with good form than not do it at all. And it gets the booty, why not? All right, once you get through anywhere from 6 to 8 of those, let's get through your chops. If the chops felt easy, maybe you take up to 8 on each side. If the chops felt harder, maybe you bring it down anywhere from 4 to 6. All righty, go for those chops. You can take that on your pace. I'm gonna go for about 6 chops on each side using my exhale. Pick your low side and then throw that weight up to your high side. Remember, sit into it, melt the back knee. Folks at home, if you want, this might be a good one to send me over for some form feedback. Exhale deeply so you feel like you are in control. Beautiful. All right, I did about 6 there. You can do however many feels good. Again, good, Lydia. Yep, that's better. Nice long arms, my friends, the long arms. Get that weight away from you. Now, I'm talking to you the whole time. I feel like I'm in control of not only my breath, but also the dumbbell. It's like when you first started learning how to ride a bike and you're like, this is awesome. And then like you started going down the hill really fast and you're like, ah, and you're like, shit, I'm losing control. Really, if you just kind of lean into it, you would move with it, you know? Don't fight it. Ride the weight. All right, my friends, if you wanted to, and if you did the first time, add the push-up, have a little fun with it, right? You're building from last week. But if the push-up is not for you, it is shoulders, knees, and toes. You have 5 of these, 5 of these. So I'll start with my push-up. My knees, hike the hips up nice and high. And make sure you bring the hips back down every time after you tap the toes. All right, this class does not have much jumping. It is all about form. And the beauty is you get to watch them over and over again. Again, I'm going to be adding more workouts in there, okay? 5 of these, 5 of these. Find strength in the plank position, right? Especially if you've been working with me for a long time. We've been together for a hot second. You know that the plank is the base of nearly everything. The plank is the top of your kettlebell swing. The plank is like everything. I live and die off the plank. Just kidding. All righty, friends, we're going to take this one more round. One more round. Ooh, perfect. We'll have time for our next circuit. And then you guys are out the door and on your way, enjoying your beautiful Tuesday. AKA, I know it's hot. All righty, guys. Any questions? Always. You can always take yourselves off mute. Any questions at all, feel free. If you're feeling good, let's move through it. You have 6 to 8 curtsies on one side, 6 to 8 curtsies on the other. Again, 4 to 8 chops on each side, 4 to 8. If you're working with something light, maybe go more reps. And then 5 of the shoulder, knee, toe, plank combo, okay? All right, Lydia's on to the curtsies. Let's make it happen, crew. All right, be mindful your front knee still wants to push out. Nice long spine. And again, make sure the hips stay really square. It's easy to drop the hip. It's easy to drop the shoulder, especially since we're taking our leg back. And it is a single leg exercise. Don't be confused. It's single leg. It's the front leg. Now, often what I see as well is that the foot will turn out. You see how I turn the toe out, which you think might be better, but reality is try and keep the toe pointing forward and still keep pushing the knee out over your last 2 toes instead of turning through the ankle. We see that a lot as well in the lateral lunge. No bueno. You're going to see the lateral lunge later. That's in our last circuit. Obviously, booty is every day. You can't tell me nothing. Good. Once you get through however many you did on one side, make sure you do it on the other side. So again, 6 to 8. Let's set up for our chops. I love the chop. Like, I love a good chop. Get into it. Now, if I meant to mention this earlier, but if it feels like too much, if you feel like you're losing yourself or you lose control in the chop, another option is to take it in the half kneeling position. The low side would be the long leg or the knee that's down. The high side would be the leg that's up. So you would be here. Okay. So if it feels like too much to do it standing, know that you have this option. All right. Lydia, give me a little bit more oomph. Throw that back booty. Yeah, there you go. A little bit more like, wah. Yeah, there you go. Good. Right. So there's really no, I would say this, there's no end and there's no beginning in the chop. What I mean by that is once you get moving, it's fluid. Right. So yes, I do happen to start here, but as soon as I get to one spot, it's like I bounce right off and come right back to the start. Now you better exhale like all hell. Deep exhale. Otherwise, holding your breath, I don't even want to know what would happen. No, obviously you don't want to hold your breath. Number one, it sends a signal from the brain down to the body that says we're in danger, right? I'm holding my breath, we're in danger. Right? Because the only time you actually hold your breath is when you're like, oh my God. Number two, holding your breath is going to put unnecessary pressure through both the bottom and the top of your core muscles. So you think like sucking in is going to be cute and all? No, it actually works, against you in the long run. All right, you got your shoulders, your knees, tap the toes. Come on down, tap the toes. All right. Again, you're looking for stability here. Don't go fast. Move stable. Don't move fast. Move with stability. Think as if someone was trying to take a picture. Can they take a picture as you tap your shoulder? Can they take a picture as you tap the other shoulder? Right? Does it look picture perfect? Take your time, right? There's literally no rush. All righty, folks. Beautiful, beautiful work. We've got one more circuit. We're going to try and get through however many rounds as we can. And then if that's the case, we will start with that. All right, we've moved in the sagittal, sagittal plane, transverse plane. You're now going to see the frontal plane in your lateral lunge. All right. Your lateral lunge. I'm going to work through this body weight first, as always. I know that you guys have been with me for a while, but we still want to kind of work through it for anyone that's new or first timers. All right, I want you to basically keep your hips pointing forward, shoulders over your hips. I'm going to take a step out, right? Nice and wide. Keep my toes pointing forward. Now, sometimes people will turn the knee out, turn the foot out. Try and keep both like a big wide number 11. All I'm going to do is shift my weight onto the leg that I stepped out. So I'm going to shift my weight over, and then I'm going to push off that leg and bring it together. That's your lateral lunge, right? Doesn't have to be fancier than that. You're actually trying to keep your chest up in the lateral lunge. So I take my nice wide step out, shoulders over my hips. To start, I'm going to push my weight onto the leg that I stepped out, push that knee, core stays tight, butt goes back. I push off that leg and bring it together. If I brought the opposite leg in, I want you to think of it this way. If I stepped out, right? If I brought this leg in, I would be in a squat. That's it. That's the only difference. And then you push off that leg and you bring it in, okay? So keep in mind, your chest wants to be up, your chin wants to be parallel to the ground, your butt is gonna go back, you have a nice long spine here. You're not purposely bringing the chest over. You're actually purposely trying to fight to keep the chest lifted, and then you push off, all right? 2 options on where you can place the weights, actually 3. If you have 2 weights, they can be up here, or they could frame the knee of the leg that you step out. The other option, if you have 1 weight, it could be on the opposite of the side that you're going to step out, okay? It'll add that core stability similar to the curtsy. Let's see it anywhere from 6 to 8 reps on one side, 6 to 8 reps on the other. Again, keep in mind, point those toes forward. Let's do it. Push the butt back, long spine, core tight, bounce off of it. Yep. If you're a first timer, a newbie, this might be the way to go for you. You might push through that leg and then press up. There's nothing wrong with this. This is just as effective as the full lateral lunge. This is essentially like a split lateral lunge, right? You can call it, or sometimes they'll call it like a Cossack squat. All right. So anywhere from 6 to 8 on one side, you're going to take 6 to 8 on the other. Push the butt back, press those hips forward. If I do it from like the angle here, I'm going to push the butt back, press the hips forward. You are trying to get your butt low. Like, don't get it twisted. We're trying to get low, 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 press it up. All right. So I say don't get it twisted, because sometimes I'll see folks like, boop, 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 which is fine. But if I know you can get that booty low, I want you to sit into it and then push off. Okay. Again, focusing on where your hips are. Next exercise today is a renegade row. Dun, 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 dun. Everyone hates this one, but loves it, but hates it, but loves it, but hates it. Your next one, folks, is this nice renegade row. The renegade row should be in the compound movement. However, you are working in this plane of motion. So I figured we put it in there. All right, keep in mind, you're starting in a plank position, and I want you to take your feet nice and wide, just like the edges of the mat. Because your goal, although you are rowing, your goal is to keep your hips nice and square. All right, this is why I say the plank is basically the base of everything. My weight is in my left hand. I'm going to take my left hand towards my hip, and then I'm going to release. That's it. Nothing moves through the rest of my body. Take a deep exhale, squeeze your butt, reach your heels back, pull the hand towards the hip, and then release. Now, oftentimes what I see is a whole lot extra. Keep it simple. Another option, folks, and it's not a regression. It is just as challenging. But if you want to focus more so on stability, the other option, which I will sometimes purposely do myself, is I'm going to start in all fours. If I'm going to row with my left arm, I'm going to extend my right leg nice and long. My hip is going to be nice and square. And then I'm going to purposely row It's going to get my back body going. So that's something that I do with intention, like purposely. Okay. Let's see anywhere from 4 to 8 rows on one side. You can rest in the middle, 4 to 8 rows on the other. All right, let's give that a go. Let's do it together. I'm here with you. It's burning just as much as my nice deep exhale. Focus on your hips. All right, I can't stress that enough. Focus on your hips. Squeeze your butt. Pull your heels back. Think of your inner thighs trying to meet, even though your feet are apart. All right, your inner thighs are trying to become friends. I was gonna say something corny about like how you have that friend in middle school and then you guys kind of like are not friends anymore, but then like you run into each other at a party at college and then you're like, yeah, we should totally hang out. But you never actually hang out with them, but you see them around campus and you're like, damn it, we're supposed to hang out. We went to middle school together. That's what your inner thighs are doing. They never actually meet in this position. They never actually get together in this position, but they have all the intentions. All right, folks, we're going to take apart a bicycle. You're going to hate my bicycle after this, but I think you're going to love it tomorrow. Okay, so your bicycle today, you're going to start with the legs in the hollow hold. So I bring both legs out to about a 45-degree angle, something that I can maintain my lower back to the mat. As I exhale, I'm going to lift my chin off the ground. Then I'm going to pull the knee just to 90 degrees, not closer, just to 90. And at that point is when I rotate the elbow to the knee. I'm going to extend the legs back out. Then I'm going to bring my knee just to 90. Bring my head back to center and then extend the leg out. All right, so you should feel a lot more on this one than when you're like banging through them in class. And the instructor's like me, your instructor, is like 10 seconds. All right, so really move with intention on this one. You want to feel your abs, this is going to be it. Bring the knee to 90, exhale, bring the leg back to the hollow hold. You're going to count anywhere from, again, 4 to 8 on each side. All right, oftentimes what we find in the bicycle is that you're pulling your neck, the knee is too close, in which case you're not actually adding that little rotation. I've done 4 and I feel them more than when I like zip through a class here. 1 or 2 more, and then you can rest. We're gonna come back up for the lateral lunge. Nice work, crew, nice work, nice work. Let's see that lateral lunge situation one more time, and then we are out of here. All righty, folks, it is about that time. All righty, let's just see those lateral lunges. We'll take it as far as we can in the next few minutes. And again, we're gonna add on as we move on. So be mindful, everything is gonna build. Like this will then be, especially in our compound week, which is actually next week when we work on purposeful compound movements, you're gonna see a lot of the exercises that we did in week 1 and 2. Now we just add in a little addition there. All right, the goal is that you actually learn about some of these movements, about how they should feel in the body, where you should feel them on your body. That's my goal in this little summer strength program, is to share all of my secrets with you all. So you know what's hot and what's not when you're flipping through the gram. And everyone's like, you can do this for abs, and you can do this for that. And you're like, nah, that's not how your body's biomechanically made to move. All right, really push through, dig those heels down. And we hear this a lot in fitness also. It's like, oh, it worked for me, so it'll work for you. False, wrong. After training hundreds, and I mean hundreds of people since like 2011 through now, no 2 bodies are alike. You, me, my neighbor, the person above me, the person below me, we could do the same exact workout. We could eat the same thing. We can meditate. We could do the same amount of walks, and we will have 4, 5, 6 different bodies. So keep that in mind. Do not fall into the comparison trap. All righty, let's move through this lovely little plank situation. You got that renegade row. Again, opt always. You can also keep the knees down. And I actually like keeping the toes down. But keep in mind, you have that option to extend the other leg, which again, I will purposely do, as it does create core instability. So I am training my core, which is the main focus, aside from the row, in the renegade row, right? All right, deep exhale. All right, if you want to challenge yourself, try and stay up in the middle of that renegade row. All righty. Once you get through those renegade rows, crew, we're going to flip right over and get to my version of the bicycle. All right, the bicycle crunch. Again, the goal is that you rotate from the back side of your rib cage and not from your upper neck or from your neck or your lower back. So try, that's why I like to start in this hollow hold position, because now I know my lower back is nice and stable. I'm going to exhale deeply. Bring the knee just to 90 degrees, just to 90, not anymore. Can I bring my knee closer? Yeah, but I'm purposely bringing it just to 90 degrees. And you might hear me literally Darth Vadering in your ear. That is because I want you to breathe on that rotation. Do not hold your breath. All righty, friends, I will be adding as well. So you'll see a little core workout on there. You'll also see a nice little cool down on there, some more mobility. All right, folks, it is about that time. If you wanted to add another round, you know your 3 exercises that you got to get through. This workout will be up on there by tonight, if not tomorrow morning. And then your new workout will be up on there by Thursday, 6:30 p.m. So you can kind of do it at the same time. I will most likely upload it earlier, but I just figured I'd let you know at the very latest, you know that you could do it on Thursday at 6:30. All right, guys, send me over any questions that you might have.